The meddling mother of King George III. Princess Augusta of Saxe-Gotha's life was marked by a series of tragedies and intrigues, from the shattered dreams of her youth when she envisioned becoming queen, but instead married a manipulative prince, to her tumultuous relationship with her in-laws, King George II and Queen Caroline. Her story is one of relentless hardship, and as we delve into the complexities of her royal journey, we witness a young, naive princess navigating treacherous family dynamics, falling victim to her husband's cruel schemes, and enduring a harrowing childbirth that would ultimately lead to her banishment from the royal court. Princess Augusta of Saxe-Gotha, known as the mother of Mad King George, endured a series of unfortunate events in her life. While her dreams of becoming queen were shattered due to her husband's sudden death, she witnessed her son's descent into madness as he ascended to the throne. Regrettably, her own behaviour took a dark turn, making her one of history's most exacerbating mother-in-laws, as those familiar with Queen Charlotte's prequel in Bridgerton might attest. Augusta's royal journey began in the small German principality of Gotha in 1719. At just 16, she was married off to Prince Frederick, the son of King George II of Great Britain and the Prince of Wales, which seemed like the start of a fairy tale match, but quickly turned into a nightmare. Though Augusta likely believed she was marrying her Prince Charming, Frederick proved to be a walking red flag. He was significantly older than her and notorious for his debauchery, including gambling, drinking, and womanizing. Frederick's motivations for the marriage were dubious at best, and it turned out that Frederick, deep in debt due to his extravagant lifestyle, had married Augusta solely for her dowry. Unfortunately, Augusta's inability to communicate in English or French, in addition to her native German, further complicated matters. This language barrier was particularly challenging given that she entered a royal court where all three languages were spoken. Augusta's naivety was also striking. She had little knowledge of adult matters, as evidenced by courtiers observing her playing with dolls in her first year as the Princess of Wales. Frederick, taking advantage of her inexperience, hatched a cruel plan. He arranged for his lover, Lady Hamilton, to become one of Augusta's ladies of the bedchamber, convincing Augusta that this move disproved any rumours about his relationship with her, while granting himself greater access to his mistress. Frederick's cruelty towards Augusta, however, was just beginning to escalate. Augusta's challenging relationship with her in-laws. When Princess Augusta married Prince Frederick, she entered a marriage without fully understanding the complexities of her husband's family dynamics. Frederick had been embroiled in a long-standing feud with his parents, King George II and Queen Caroline of Ansbach, to the point of establishing a rival court in opposition to them. Navigating in-law relationships is rarely easy, and Augusta found herself in a precarious situation, which she unfortunately handled very poorly. She became a pawn in Frederick's scheme. Frederick, already using Augusta as a pawn in his family feud, escalated his manipulative tactics. He began instructing Augusta to deliberately annoy his mother, Queen Caroline, in any way possible. Augusta, still a teenager, obediently followed his directives, which included arriving late to the chapel and rudely pushing past the Queen Consort to reach her seat. The situation took an embarrassing turn. Queen Caroline's disdain for Augusta. Queen Caroline, a highly intelligent woman of her time, devised a clear solution to avoid confrontations with Augusta. She instructed her attendants to direct Augusta to another chapel entrance to prevent any awkward encounters. However, Frederick persisted, demanding that Augusta make a show of refusing to enter the church if Queen Caroline had already arrived. The tension between them escalated to the point where Queen Caroline commented on Augusta's predicament, displaying her wit and composure. Queen Caroline's lack of trust. Despite her initial naivety, Augusta quickly became pregnant due to her husband's influence. This triggered suspicions from Queen Caroline, who, not trusting her daughter-in-law or her son, insisted on being present at the birth to verify the child's legitimacy. At the time, concerns about royal mothers substituting babies or infants from nearby villages were not uncommon. However, Queen Caroline's demands set off a chain of unfortunate events. A chaotic birth experience for Augusta. In July 1737, Augusta went into labour, unaware that this would become another pawn in her husband's ongoing battle with his parents. Frederick insisted that she travel by carriage to the remote St. James's Palace to ensure that his mother and father would not be present at the birth. This sudden decision led to a chaotic and unprepared birthing situation for teenage Augusta. Frederick's abrupt plan caught St. James's Palace off guard, leaving teenage Augusta to give birth to a royal heir, a girl named Augusta, on a tablecloth. It was an incredibly harrowing introduction to motherhood, with more challenges on the horizon. The Queen's insult to the child. Upon hearing the news of the birth, Queen Caroline and King George II expressed their disapproval of Frederick's actions. While Queen Caroline saw that the baby was a girl, and therefore not a suspected changeling, she made a disparaging remark, expressing relief that Augusta had given birth to a poor, ugly little she-mouse, instead of a large, fat, healthy boy. Despite her unkind words, Queen Caroline's actions were about to make a more severe turn. Banishment from court. Relations between Augusta and her in-laws reached a new low following the tumultuous birth. King George II and Queen Caroline banished Augusta and her husband from the royal court, forcing them to live in isolation at Leicester House, far removed from society. It could have been an opportunity for a quieter life, but fate had other challenges in store for them. Join me in part 2 to learn about Queen Caroline's serious illness and eventual passing, Augusta's husband, Frederick, attempted reconciliation with his parents, only to be met with rejection. Augusta's life took a series of tumultuous turns, from the birth of her son, George III, to her husband's sudden death and her rise to power as regent. Her control over George III and her involvement in his marriage, and how that ultimately led to public hostility and a tarnished reputation. Remember, the stories of the past people shape our present and future. Keep exploring history, and I'll see you next time on Past People.